Right. Give everybody a chance to get in here a little bit, see who shows up. Because I know we're all kind of watching the elections, waiting for Oregon to come out with their first numbers. Let's see.
Okay, let's see why everybody's tagging me. Got a door that doesn't fit, not a problem. Super easy fix. Just get a door that fits.
I'm going to keep an ear on what's going on out there. All righty. Well, sports fans, that's right. Welcome. How you doing? Oh, looks like I'm in the front row. Ooh. I mean, people might remember that. Let's see. Hey, Patricia. Hey, it's going okay. No, we don't know yet. Oregon just now 8 o'clock shut down, and now we're just kind of got to wait for them to come up with some numbers, see what's been decided. And for me, as a write-in candidate, what they will post is if there's a high percentage of write-in numbers, they'll post numbers, but they won't necessarily tell you who they're for. What happens is that in the event the write-ins are greater than any one of the other actual candidates on the ballot, that's when they have to go back and actually go through and can count those names. So stand by, see how it goes. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I appreciate that, Dale. You know, I think one of the things we have to be aware of is that no matter what happens tonight, it's not over till we say it's over, right? That's right. So there's a whole lot of things we can do no matter what happens, and we're going to take whatever actions we can to get the state back on track. And ultimately, it's going to come down to waking people up and convincing them to stop voting for the lesser of evils. Just don't do it. And Christine Drazen and her general lack of support through the primaries, I'm telling you now, guys, this could really bite us in the backside today. It has nothing to do with me splitting that vote. No, no, no. It will have something to do with Betsy Johnson splitting that vote. So stand by for that. Let's see. All right, Mr. Barry's got that up there. Oh, come on, where'd it go? Okay, so what do we got? Hey, LD, good to see you. Yeah, I got the Captain America jersey on today. Yeah. Well, one thing LaDonna is got LaDonna Morrison also here, is that winning is a relative thing. And so far, things are looking pretty good elsewhere in the country. But of course, nothing really on Oregon yet because they only shut their polling stations, whatever, 8 o'clock tonight. The question is, what kind of counting are they getting done and what they're trying to manipulate? And the idea that they can still accept mail in ballots as late as 7 days after today, I got a problem with that. Because even the post office is not putting dates to our understanding. We're going to find out about that, whether they actually started putting dates on them or not as they process them. They should, and the post office should keep count. That's integrity. And for them to not do that would be the opposite. So what else we're going on here? Let's see. Hey, Wilson, good to see you here. Hey, Barry. Let's see. Now let's see results, OregonVotes.gov. Let's go take a look and see what we can find there. There we go. Okay, so let's look at the federal ones real quick. Oh, wow. Wow, that's not pretty. I'm currently looking at the Joe Ray Perkins, Ron Wyden, and the write-in has 682 votes, and I believe that is Michael Stetler. Ron Wyden is looking at 59.37%, 390,000 votes. Mind you, that if we just went with Democrats, up to 1,011,000 Democrats. So that's not even half the Democrats yet. And that's versus Joe Ray Perkins with 37.82%, which is about 248,000 Republicans. Now, mind you, there's roughly about 750,000 Republicans. And when voters don't like a candidate as a Republican, they just don't vote. That's how it is. And let's see, Dan Poolju of Pacific Green Party. Wow. 6,552 votes. That's kind of interesting. It's 1%. Chris Henry, the Progressive, 1.71%. And, you'd think about those people. There's what, 11, that's about 17, not quite 18,000 votes between the two. And they would normally be going towards the Democrat. Why? Because that's where the progressives are anyway. So the fact that they're separate doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll keep an eye on that. So then, let's see, what else do we have? Let's go back over here to. Yeah, Fetterman is still, seems like kind of a big joke out there. Okay, so this is what I was concerned about. I voiced my concerns before in my lives. They stand. Okay, right now Tina Kotek is running at 332,000 votes with 50.22% of the vote, and Christine Drazan at 40.47 with 268,000 votes. Yeah, y'all see a problem here? This is not looking good, not by any stretch of the imagination. So, in the event, and by the way, in write-in candidates, what they're showing right now for write-in is only like not quite a percent. See, Betsy Johnson's running at 8.5%, only 56,000 votes. And the kicker is, if Betsy Johnson was not in the race, there's a good chance that Christine Drazan will be running at about 49% to Tina Kotek's 50%. So the vote splitter here, as I said before, is going to be Betsy Johnson. And the people kept saying that I'd be the vote splitter. Wow, come on, guys, really? Let's see what else we got going on out there. Donna Smith is running at 0.37%, just a little over 2,000 votes. And I don't suspect she's going to get much more than that at this point. Wow, this is pretty amazing. Total votes in 662,000. Now with Tina Kotek, like I said, we're looking at probably at least half of them turning out, which is going to be a little over 500,000 voters. And if we can get Republicans to turn out and vote, we're talking about roughly about 750. So 325, 375,000 coming out. And with Tina Kotek, I'm telling you guys, they have the numbers. And did Drazan go after the non-affiliated voter? No, they did not. None of them addressed the non-affiliated voter. And this is a huge problem. And for non-affiliated voters, your candidate was me, very simply, just how that's going to work. So this is getting very interesting. And by the way, they're saying that only 22% of the total ballots have come out so far. We have just under 3 million active registered voters with only 668,000 votes counted. So there's a whole lot of votes that are still out there. So things can still change. But these initial reports, being a mail-in state, a lot of people already mailed things in. It's going to be interesting. See how many people held back till today. Because I don't think Kotek will be looking at any excessive number in the moment. But with Christine Drazan, that's still a possibility. But all I can say, guys, is this. Republican voters do not want rhinos. They will not sacrifice their vote or themselves for a super rhino like Christine Drazan. So here's the best part, the way I see it. Should Tina Kotek win this race tonight, what's going to happen is we're going to gear up for the ultimate recall, the earliest, fastest recall ever done on a newly elected governor. Okay. And so what we're going to do is, because they're not going to have this big a voter turnout, which is good, which means we won't have as many signatures to get as the last time. However, what we got to do is the next 6 months following this election, that's what we got to push and get people geared up for, ready to rock and roll. And then we come out in 6 months as soon as possible with that petition to recall her, and we go for the jugular vein. Now, the other thing that's interesting is we have a Secretary of State that needs to be recalled as well. So it would be best to have 2 petitions, one to remove her and one to remove Tina Kotek. Suggestion, we'll see who gets behind that and who doesn't. Because I'll tell you right now, Republican Party leadership has been, there's some of them I'd love to get in a room and nobody leaves until we get some things settled. But this is what we've all been dealing with. And at the county level, I know great people that work really hard to recover the Republican Party, but it has been slow and tedious and ineffectual. Solomon Yu and his people have a death grip on the party, which fundamentally hobbles it and undermines it. So keep that in mind. Coming back over here, let's see. Hey, Miss Terry, Jace's mom's in the house. Let's see. Hey, Wilson, I do too. And the fact is, we'll see what the numbers end up in the end, but it's going to be interesting. Thank you, Jennifer. Well, and here's the thing. Who's the bigger fool? Voting for a good person that actually has a plan and a strategy and solutions to the real problems, or the other 3 evils that are up to their eyeballs in China and haven't offered a single solution to any issue of the state. They've identified issues, but they won't tell you what they're going to do about them. So you tell me, which one makes more sense? And a lot of people, some people vote, well, who's got the most money? They're the ones that are going to win. Well, where's the logic there, right? The one thing I can tell you is this. Of all these candidates, they've spent the least. Kate Brown had to spend the most. I think it was like almost $14-15 million when she last ran. And right now, the 3 different contestants we kind of have with the big money, I don't think any of them have crossed the $7 million mark. So it's less than half of what was done for the previous gubernatorial race. But Betsy Johnson's going to be the spoiler here. I'm telling you now. So if y'all want to go blame anybody, point her out. Oh, Betsy. Nobody wanted Betsy. That's right. A few handful of people, and a lot of those were brought over by Bridget Barton. So here's the thing. Bridget Barton's a rhino herself. Don't trust that woman. Just don't do it. She's the one that's backed Betsy Johnson. And, you just got to pay attention to these guys. And don't forget what they've done in the past. It is a sure formula for what they're going to do in the future. We've seen it time and time again. So don't kid yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Stick with the truth. Stick with what you know. Let's see. Hey, Faith, good to see you. Like I said, no matter what, we continue to fight, guys. And so to let you in on what we're going to do, basically, we're going to take a little bit of a break between now and January, because believe me, we need it. We deserve it. Because we've been working for 2 years on this campaign. And it's been hobbled and undermined by a number of elements and individuals. And those individuals stem from Laura Ma Barker, a toxic narcissist and a half, who's very jealous of my wife in every way you can imagine. And then also her little henchmen that included Angie Vandenboss and Angela Height Miyake, also known as Angie Freedom Fighter. And then you have Roger Shipman Jack Allen Brown and Robert Bob Ekstrom of the leadership in the Constitution Party of Oregon. So these are all some key people that played a role in preventing my name from being on the ballot. It's that simple. And so if anybody you know is still within the Constitution Party of Oregon, fill them in, give them my number. We'll get some information to them. They can read the ruling from the Secretary of State on Secretary of State ruling 22-046. And literally, this is what these guys have been doing for over 20 years and interfering with the ability of the Constitution Party of Oregon people, members, to be able to even vote in primaries, much less even vote for their leadership. Yes. So all these things have been compromised, and it's time for the Constitution Party of Oregon, which is not connected to the National Constitution Party, to go the way of the dodo. That's right. Let them eat that legacy. Time to gut them like a fish, metaphorically speaking. So that's what we're going to do. And what we've been talking to a group of people that is starting a new party nationwide. And I believe that's the We the People Party. And so we will kind of weigh and measure that as we go. But the We the People Party of Oregon is something that we are going to do come hell or high water. This is a chance for us to actually give non-affiliated voters a home, one of the Constitution, where they can actually vote and elect their primary candidates. They should have a dog in this fight. And the Republican Democrat parties are literally going to combine. At least here in this state, they're combined already. And if that's any precursor to the other states, well, that's going to get even more scary. So keep that in mind. So no matter what, we continue to fight. I don't give up. And by the way, when you run into candidates out there that start into an election, wherever they lose and they just disappear, question that. Don't let them get away with it. It's like, well, I had to rethink my stuff and I had to redecide what I'm going to do. And then I just saw an opportunity. And no, you're either committed to it or you're not. And for me, I'm 100% committed to this. So for me, we'll be looking at a legislative seat in about 2 years. We'll be campaigning for that starting now, which is basically me getting out in my district, Senate or House, and getting to know everybody and make sure they know who I am. And once we do that, my goal is 80% of the vote in that election. And I already think I have my target too. So all things in time. Now, then, of course, in 4 years, we'll have another governor's race. But the big question I have really is this, is that if we're able to recall a Secretary of State and a governor, who does that end up putting into the governor's seat? And we don't have a lieutenant governor, which we probably need one, actually. These are major questions to ask. And I don't know about any kind of special elections that can happen. But the one thing I can say is this: I look forward to debating these people before elections, because we're not holding their feet to the fire now in these debates. If I could be on the same stage with Tina Kotek, Betsy Johnson, and Christine Drazen, I would run circles around them. I'd put them to shame. And that's just, we have to have the opportunity. And the mainstream media here in Oregon has not been cooperative at all, not even for a basic interview like they do with many of the candidates. That is a problem, something we talked about on the Rob Taylor report yesterday. Let's see. North Lake County ballots won't even get to Lakeview until 10 p.m. Okay. Hey, James, good to see you. Miss Teresa. Yep. Fraud already with machines glitching and what have you. Come on, Maricopa County in Arizona, same thing. They're talking about that as well. But they claim they got it all fixed and it's worked out and the votes are being counted. All the measures in passing. Now that I've not seen. Let's go back and see what we got. Okay, well, I got an update on the Tina Kotek Drazen race. Tina Kotek has lost some ground, 447,000 votes, with Christine Drazen at 415,000 votes. That's a 46.75% versus 43.38%. So Drazen is catching up a little bit here. That's good to see. So stand by for that. What else we got going on here? No real changes in the Libertarian or Constitution Party. Gaining some ground. getting close to 1,000 on the write-in campaigns. Betsy Johnson is at 9.1%. And by the way, Betsy, if you weren't in this race, I'm going to bet you money that 87,000 votes would be in Drazen's court, and she'd be pretty far ahead right now. She'd be looking pretty good. But that's okay. We're far from over. So hang in there. Only 29% of the vote is in. Okay, that's the governor's race. So we'll follow that. And let's go back over here. State measures. Where are we at on these? Boy, these things better be solid no. Man, I smell a rat and a bunch of not very smart people. Okay, measure 111 is basically split. It's at 50.54% in favor and 49.46 against. That's 800. That's the 29% of votes in. On 112, 55.89% saying yes, 44% saying no. A lot of people saying yes. Think, oh, I don't want to support slavery. No, it's not slavery. That is a lie. And it doesn't even say slavery in the thing. Basically, it's that they will have to work for the time that they are in to pay for what they got. Measure 113. Now, this is just atrocious. 68.39%, yes. 31.61%, no. This is not good. And then we got measure 114. Oh, yeah. I'm not buying this for a second, but here's where we're at. 52.54% yes, 47.46% no. That's pretty close. 447,000 votes to 404,000 votes. Boy, guys, if that happens, it's going to get real ugly because fundamentally this violates the Second Amendment, period. It is not constitutional at all. Okay. Now let's go see what else we got going on in the state. For state senator races. And in 3rd district, the Republican is currently losing. It's still kind of tight. 48% to 52%. Senate District 4. No numbers at all there. We got State Senator District 6th District. Here we go. Cedric Hayden winning pretty decisively with 69+%. But we're only talking about, it must be a pretty small district. He's got 914 votes against 402 with Ashley Pelton. Wow, that must be a pretty small district. It's kind of odd. What do we got here? 8th district, we have Sarah Gelser Bloom. That's the Democrat at 69.63%. And Valerie Waldit at 30.21%. 10th district, Republican. No, wait, take that back. Democrats actually ahead, 54% versus 46% with the Republican. What do we got here? 11th district, Richard Walsh at 46.87. He is the Democrat against Kim Thatcher, who's hanging on to a small lead at 52.92%. And that's a very interesting race there. Hopefully Kim can hang on to that spot. But the question is, you really don't hear much from her while she's in that legislature. And she's been in there long enough. She should know enough dirt and have enough leverage to move some Democrats. But apparently she's not paying attention. Then we have the State Senator 13th District, John Velez. That is the Republican at almost 42%. And Aaron Woods, Democrat with work and working families at 59%. State Senator 15th District. The Republican is still behind about 45% to Democrat 54%. Man, I'll tell you what, this is not looking pretty, guys. State Senator 16th District. Suzanne Weber, Republican at 54.67%. And Melissa Bush at 45%. So that's looking pretty good for the Republican. State Senator 17th District. Okay, John Verbeek. This guy, does anybody know who he is? And the answer is pretty much no. He ran for U.S. Senate last cycle, and he got 10% of the vote. He had no campaign, no nothing. He had no business even being in that race. The question is this the race he should have been in? Well, at 22, 23%, I'm going to say no, because he's actually getting less votes than he even got in the Senate race before. Elizabeth Hayward is running at 76%, and looks like that should be pretty much done. State Senate District, 18th District, 2-year unexpired term. Wow. Okay. Looks like the Democrats running this. Campos at 55%. Kimberly Rice, Republican, at 33.97%. Now, what's really interesting about Kimberly Rice is she's one of those people they slid into the Constitution Party election process. She was not, didn't receive an endorsement, was actually elected. This is something that really shouldn't have happened in the first place, but the simple fact is she will be losing. Now, I'm a little disappointed. Rich Vial. Now, Rich is a good guy. He's running not affiliated. He's at barely 10.41%. One thing this is showing us is that the minor parties really don't have a real chance at this point because people just give up on them, and that's really the wrong thing to do. You need to find the best candidate and vote for them. If you don't know, you need to go find out. State Senator 19th District Ben Edel is running at 33.79% against Rob Wagner, Democrat, at 66%. Very interesting here. I wish I could tell you I knew what how many are actually still in this race, still need to be counted. State Senator District 20, Mark Meek, Democrat, is at 50%, and Bill Kinnemer is at 49%. This is an opportunity right here. This is looking pretty good. One's at 13,210, the other at 12,954. This is really getting close. We're talking about not even 0.5% between the two. So votes matter. Everyone does. State Senate District 24, Stan Catherman, Republican, at 41.46, and Casey Jama, Democrat, at 58.34%. We have State Senator 26th District, Raz Mason, Democrat, at 44, and Daniel Bonham, at Republican, at 55. Now, I think Daniel would be doing better than that, to be honest. But hey, that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to win. Now, let's go back. Touch base with the federal real quick. Okay. Well, Jo Rae Perkins is not, she's gained a little bit, but not very much considering we have almost 1 million votes around, not quite 1 million. And she's at 40.87%. Ron Wyden's at 56.84%. I'm truly impressed with the number of people that still vote for the Crypt Keeper. Really. This guy is death on a stick. My understanding was he had planned to retire, but apparently in Congress, they didn't want to put this up to brand new candidates that could give the Republican the edge. But I think Jo Rae Perkins would be much more effective if she actually offered real solutions for U.S. Senate type issues. But invariably, she commits the same crime as everybody else, where she just identifies the issues, but doesn't offer you anything of substance as to what to do about them. U.S. Representative, 1st District. We have Christopher Mann, Republican, at 32%, Suzanne Bonamici at 67%. We have got to get some term limits in there, right? Yeah, without a question. U.S. Representative, 2nd District, Joe Yetter at 40%. That's a Democrat. Cliff Bentz at 65%. Pretty much expected at this point. And again, guys, we need a decent human being to run for the 2nd District besides Cliff Bentz. That guy is not helping anything. He's literally just standing over in the corner in Congress. You don't hear about him. He's not outspoken. He doesn't step up. He just goes along with the freaking crowd. And that crowd is very much on the fence, and I don't trust it in Congress. So we need a real solid person run for Congressional District 2. That's in 2 years, by the way. So then we have Earl Blumenauer, Democrat. He's running at 3rd District at 69%. And Joanna Harbor is running at 26.94%. It's most unfortunate. I'd like to see her do a whole lot better. and she'd be the right person to represent Oregon there, without a doubt. What else do we have here? We have the U.S. Representative, the 4th District. And by the way, these are all for Congress, U.S. House of Representatives. Alex Skarlatos is running at 46.94%, with Val Hoyle at 46.86%. We are talking a separation here of, it would appear to be, see, 28 and 59, so 70, 80, 87 vote separation. 87 votes. Very interesting. So stand by. And the kicker is Pacific Green Progressive Party. They snatched up almost 2,000 votes. Could have gone to Val Hoyle. What else? Jim Howard has actually managed to pull 1.73% of the vote. Not quite 2,000 votes. And Levi Leatherberry, the Independent Party, pulled in 2.51%, about almost 3,000 votes. And I'm pretty certain that, well, the Republican Skarlatos could have used those votes. And then say Pacific Green Progressive went to Val Hoyle. That would still put Skarlatos in the lead. Now, mind you, when leads are this close, they are also much easier to cheat on. So keep that in mind. The Congressional District 5, which is one I've not really followed, Jamie McLeod Skinner, perennial candidate, Democrat, is running at 52%, and Lori Chavez DeRemer at 47.63%. So stand by. This is going to get intense. And mind you, in every one of these districts, there's about 770,000 voters. Okay? The population is about 770,000. So there's a lot of people that haven't voted. So it's going to be interesting to see how they call these. Our current brand new district, District 6 Congressional District, we have Larry McFarland, Constitution Party, 2.2%. We have Andrea Salinas, Democrat, Independent Working Families, 50.8%. And then Mike Erickson, Republican, at 46.85%. Pretty dang good showing for, I think, the first time out there. So we're running about 78,000 votes to 72,000 votes. That's not a lot, especially when you only have 153 votes in, and there should be roughly another, well, up to 770 total votes. We need to get people to get out and vote. This is a real issue. People get so complacent. They don't care. They think their vote doesn't count. And what we can show you by these numbers, your vote most certainly counts, without a doubt. So now, let's go check back in with Christine Drazan. Whoa, we've had an adjustment here. Tina Kotek's running at 45.49%, and Christine Drazan at 44.54%. So we're still about 10, now it's showing about 10,000 votes difference. So this is tight. This is close. So if you know people, they can get their ballots mailed in. Yep, they might want to consider doing that. Write-in is over 1,000 votes, and there's no change on the Constitution Libertarian Party. I really don't expect to see any real change there at all. Non-affiliated Betsy Johnson still hanging in about just a hair over 9%, about 94,000 votes. And if Christine Drazan had those, she'd be big time winning right now. I warned you guys. I told you. Gosh, there's many ways that I hope I'm wrong, but that's how tight this is. And when you have an election this tight, it makes it that much easier for them to cheat. Remember, even with the Dominion system, they could cheat anywhere from 2 to 10 or 12%. And that's been kind of it's a big range of numbers, I know, but it's still very possible. We only have 31% of votes counted, not quite a million still. So, and I hope people are getting screenshots of some things, because I'm sure each one of these candidates should be taking screenshots on every update. Because as soon as they see their numbers drop at any point, automatically that gives them a place to look for the time and the number of votes that go away from one and show up on another. And their excuses are, oh, well, we put them on the wrong one. Yeah, no, you didn't. It's just how you cheated. We got you. All right, so let's go touch base with our people. Let's see. Yeah, I'm telling you what, James. We all have to educate our fellow Oregonians. We really do. They have no idea what they're giving up. They have no idea. Yep, Pizza Hut got votes, but see, they're not really voting for her. They're voting for the Constitution Party because if they ever heard her speak, they would not vote for her. That much I can assure you. CHC machines are either broke or ran out of paper. 14 counties are not reported yet for governor. Kotek wins. Yeah, believe me, like I said, it's going to be close, but that's how they want it. The closer it is, the easier it is for them to cheat, guys. I told you repeatedly. And when this all comes to pass, you know what? We had a candidate for governor, right? And well, he said what was going to probably happen. He gave us a good insight into that, and it's what we're witnessing. So, and there's no way Kotek could win this legitimately. I don't believe that. The state of Oregon, Democrats, nobody wants her. She's been job shadowing Kate Brown. She's the chosen one, guys. And we didn't choose her. Yeah, the measures. I'm going to go check in with those next here again. Let's see. Laid out in the Constitution. What happens? Traitors is very clear. Yep. Firing squad or hanging. I'm all for it. Yeah. Hey, Shanna, you're right. Shanna and Tim, I appreciate you guys. Yeah, we got plans. We got plans for 2024 and 2026. However, depending on who actually wins this governor's race, if it's Kotek, we'll be looking at a recall right out of the chute. You can't recall anybody till after they've been in office 6 months. And well, guess what? That's what we're gonna have to do if Kotek pulls this out. Hey Sherry, glad you made it. Let's see, you're right. Yeah, I think we're all sick and tired of the liberals and the rhinos running the state because they do not represent us. That's why I keep telling people stop voting for them. Yeah, I'll tell you. Let's see. Make them infamous. The county's not reported on the measures yet. Oh yeah, because I'm telling you right now, James, you're right. We're not going for any of those measures. Not one. We're going to have to fight them tooth and nail. And my understanding with these ballot measures, it's like anything else. You know, there's an awful lot of people that just don't care. And whenever I meet those people, like, oh, I don't vote. I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, man, you don't care about yourself. Really? Is it that bad that you don't care even about yourself or your family or what you pay in taxes? So you just ignore this stuff. Guys, we have to take the time to get out and just talk to people, have the conversation, show them the ways, the error of their ways. Listen, because you didn't vote, this is what you got stuck with. Well, I didn't want that. Well, then you should have voted against it. Way to go, numbnuts. Congratulations. Let's see. Yeah, believe you me. Hey, Carol. Oh, yeah, man, Terry. Yeah, Lake and Hobbs. You know there's going to be some serious stuff going on there. All right, so 111 has got bumped to no. There's a good start. Hot dog. And thank you, Shanna. I appreciate that regarding the Rob Taylor show. You got to stay on your ground. The thing about Rob Taylor, it still kills me. See, he's the one that sets people up to come in whenever to kind of hijack or ambush somebody else he's there to actually interview, right? So when you have Roger Shipman and Donna Smith, he's literally lined up all the opposition. Oh, it's just a call-in show. Stop lying. It's a whole lot more than that. He knows it. But the other thing that bothered me about Rob, apparently when Donis was on, he made a statement afterwards, said that, you know what, I'm not going to vote for anybody for governor. And yet, wasn't it Rob Taylor that was telling you, hey, everybody, we got to vote. Everybody has to vote. You have to vote. And he had the audacity to tell all his listeners that he wasn't going to vote for anybody for governor. Rob Taylor, this is from me to you. You're a dumbass. You're a hypocrite and a dumbass. You got to go find out what word encompasses all those things. You're not doing Oregon any kind of favors. And to be quite frank, your show, Yeah, you probably shouldn't have a show. Just how it is. If you're not going to be honest with people and do as you say, right? Then why should anybody listen to what you have to say? If you can't do what you're telling them to do, no, it doesn't work. So note that one. Uh, yeah, California 2.0. Let me tell you what, Dale. But see, this is where we come in. We're going to have our own serious protests and put the fear of God into whoever's the next governor until we recall them. That's what's going to happen. But at the same time, we're going to have to recall the Secretary of State, Shemaiah Fagan. She should have been recalled already, but we're going to have to do this and get serious about it. Yep, 29%. I heard Guam went red. Hey, wow, there's a good thing. Can't take our guns away. They'll be met with many losses. No, they're going to be met with many bullets. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, there you go, Barry. Pre-measures don't pass. We're going to always show up late to the polls. That is true. So I'm hoping that the late showing of Republicans at the polls is what really pushes everything over and locks it down. So there we go. Guns are locked, loaded, ready to go to war. I'll tell you what, Wilson, there's a whole lot of Oregonians ready for this. It only takes 3% of us, too. Remember that. Outstanding. Virgil Osborne. Okay. Happy to see that. Of course, Renfro with 2.32%. Yeah. How do people vote for these clowns? They must really love all the drugs, homeless, and crime. I know, James. It's remarkable. Let's see. Christian Bureau recommend Christian Stevenson. Yeah, good. See, Sherry helped. Big questions on her, especially regarding Solomon Hughes connections. So I generally, as a rule, don't trust those people. I plead the pray over the state. Absolutely. Hypocrite plus dummy equals idiot. It's like Yosemite Sam. Oh, you done, you idiot. Yeah, hypocrite and dumb is idiot. Okay, I like that. Village idiot. There you go. It's remarkable how many people follow the village idiot, but that changes in time. Once people figure out that they're the idiot. There you have it. Okay, so let's step back into the arena over here and do a little update. Tina Kotek is still running about not quite 1%, still that 10,000. So that's going to be very interesting. So Jeremy Perkins is not really coming up enough. 42% versus 55%. Another wasted campaign. But see, substance and actually connecting with people. Now, Ron Wyden just runs on his war chest, okay, and name recognition. That's all he does, because you really haven't seen anything on him out in the public at all. Congressional District 1, Susan Bonamici still with decisive lead at 66%. Congressional District 2, Cliff Bentz at 65%. And Congressional District 3, Earl Blumenauer over Joanne Harbor at 69, almost 70%. Ouch. Not good. I can't wait to implement my strategy for the next run down this pike. Okay, so anyway, Scarlato's still maintaining a slight lead. We're talking about 31, 41, 46 vote lead. So his lead is shrinking. I'm guessing a bunch of those negative ads really hit him pretty hard. And I'm curious what kind of veteran vote he did achieve through all that. Congressional District 5, Lori Chavez DeReamer is now leading Jamie McLeod Skinner. Oh, thank you, Lord. All right, this is a good thing, guys. 52.42% to 47.31%. So this has been a huge comeback here. She has over 105,000 votes. to Skinner's 95,000 votes. And by the way, Jamie McLeod Skinner, she's not even, she's no longer, is it the Skinner Ranch? She's not even a Skinner anymore. She's divorced or whatever, but she still claims that. Really kind of, or it's the other way around, McLeod. I can't remember which one it is, but she needs to go with her real name. Congressional District 6, Andrea Salinas, Democrat, still ahead at 50.8%, but Mike Erickson, Republican, at 46.85%. Listen up, guys. This could do a change big time, especially considering we still only have 31% of the vote counted. So don't give up. We don't give up, right? We just keep fighting on and we keep sharing what we can. Okay, so now that we looked at that, let's go take a look at our state representatives. Okay, Senator District, 3rd District. Randy Sparacino is still at 47, 48%. He's closing. He might have a shot here, guys. State Senator, 4th District, nothing. Nothing. And the kicker is, well, it's probably because there's no Republican in that race. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on there. Floyd Przansky, Democrat, Eric Pennell, Libertarian, and they have nothing in there. So I'm betting money it's already been called for Floyd. State Senator, 6th District, Ashley Pelton, Democrat, 26.79%. And that puts Cedric Hayden at 72.95%. So Cedric's doing pretty well there. The 7th District, nothing here reporting for that yet. James Manning Jr. versus Raquel Ivey. She's the Republican. Senate District 8, Sarah Bloom is still ahead, 59%. Valerie Waldiet, 40%. Senator District 10, Raquel Green is that's the Republican, 45.64%. Deb Patterson at 54%. So again, a lot can happen considering we have a lot more votes to count. We are looking pretty dang good out there for the House and the Senate in Congress. The Congress. So then we have Senate District 11. Richard Walsh, Democrat, 46%. Kim Thatcher still holding on at just under 53%. Man, it's not a lot of votes over there. Wow. Total of 28,000 votes. Gosh, you could talk to that many people in a year, no problem. State Senator, 13th District. Currently, the Democrat is still leading 58%. That's Mr. Woods, and versus John Velez at 41%. That's going to be a tough one. 15th District, Carolina Malmetal, the Republican at 45. Solomon, Democrat at 54%. Senate District 16, Melissa Bush, Democrat at 44%. Suzanne Weber at 55%, hanging on to that lead. State Senator, 17th District, John Verbeek, way, way behind, 22.98%. That's about where he stays. Hey, John Verbeek, do us all a favor. Nobody knows you. You don't even get to make an effort to get out there and know your people, or do you really take a position on anything? You just jump into different races all over the place, and that's just plain wrong, okay? I'm sure there's a decent person to be running in that race that knows how to run a race and has a campaign staff, can put a sign up or two. Because so far, all you are is a heartbreaker here, okay? You're not helping anything. So in other words, John Verbeek, sit down. See, so then we have 18th District State Senator, Democrat Working Parties, 55%. That's Compost. Rich Viles still at 10%. Kimberly Rice at 33.97%. Now, some could say if Rich Viles wasn't running, that Kimberly Rice might pull in that extra 10, 11%. Well, that still puts her pretty short, okay? That puts her roughly about 12% still behind. And the crazy part is when I'm looking at the numbers, that's only 29,000 people that have voted there. And she has 10,000. Again, start your races earlier, get out there and talk to people, make sure they know them. Ben Edel at 33.79% for Senate District 19. Rob Wagner at 66%. Then we have Mark Meek for State Senate District 20. That is the Democrat at 50.44%. and Bill Kennemer at 49.46%. It's getting closer, guys. We're talking about 256 votes difference now. So that's shrinking. Senate District 24. Ketterman, Republican, still losing at 41. Jama, Democrat, 58%. Senate District 26. Mason, Democrat at 44, with Daniel Bonham at 55. Chances are he'll probably hold on to his seat. Okay. Now for the state measures. Where are we at? Oh, I have some good news. Measure 111, no's have taken the lead, 50.75%, with almost 1 million votes in, 49.25 on the yes, 50.75 on the no. Thank God for that. This is really, really important because that is OHA. This is the statewide, state-managed health care. No more private insurers, no, none of that. It didn't work with Obamacare. It's not going to work here. And all it's going to do is increase the cost of all these things for everybody. And by the way, if this gets approved, you will see an additional 2 to 15% increase in your state income tax. Oh, yeah. That's how they're going to pay for it, with your money. And then they have the audacity to tell you that, don't worry, all your health care will be free and substandard. Yeah, they get excited about stuff like that, but we don't. Measure 112, amends the Constitution, removes the language of slavery. Again, if you're going to do the crime, you do the time, and you pay for it. Taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for your 3 hots and a cot, and your legal library, and your workout room, and your television. No, you guys should be paying for it. Measure 113. This, by the way, this is going to amend our Constitution where legislators with 10 unexcused absences from the floor are disqualified from holding the next term of office. Well, here's the problem with that. Number one, we elect our representatives. And at no point in time do the other representatives in the legislature have the authority to remove our candidate. Ever. This must be repealed. Some people say, well, that they have to do their job. Well, first of all, our Republican legislators, to be quite honest, if I had to sum it up in a general statement, they suck. And why do they suck? I'll tell you why. Because none of them are smart enough to figure out and understand what leverage is and how they can gain leverage to correct the opposition. They lack that motivation. So let's put it this way. In 2 years, I'm going to be in that legislature. I'm going to be leading the pack. Okay, we're gonna set that place on fire in a good, awesome way. But this is what has to be done. You find out your opposition, you figure out where they're screwing up, what they're doing wrong, and then you make sure the world knows about it. You drive that wedge between the voter and them. Even in the Democrat-controlled districts, that's how you win the people. You represent them. And all you got to do is point out how their current representatives are not doing that. So then we have measure 114. Feeling a whole lot better here, guys. Right now, yes at 51.09% and no at 48.91%. That's a little over 1 million. Actually, more people are voting on that measure than any other measure. Yeah, see, the first 111, 989,000. 112, 992,000. 113, 998,000. You kind of see this incrementally what's important. And then measure 114, 1,014,000. So Second Amendment is important to people. And right now, I still have good hopes for at least 111, 112, and 114. 113, though, will fundamentally violate your and my vote for our representatives. Only we should be able to recall our people. And I think that would be the argument in court in regard to that measure, that it's unconstitutional and it's violating the vote of the people. So, so heads up on that. So let's go touch base in our studio audience. Hey, studio audience, how you doing? We're gonna have fun here, guys. Let's see. What else we got? And of course, LD got a new idea for a meme. Oh man, we're gonna have fun with that too. Oregon was the most loose voting of all of the states. I'd have to say so. Right now, they're like they look at Oregon and go, they're not even worried about it really, but they should be. Because I have a feeling we're gonna have a few upsets and some things that are gonna get their attention. But I'm really concerned about the whole, you know, if they would pay attention to Oregon just a little bit more, we would have better candidates across the board. But we don't have them. They're not stepping up. And there's a number of people that need to step up. But one thing I can tell you is that this next election here in 2 years, all the lead up to that will probably be the most organized one ever. And we will be at the core of that. Remember that. So, whether it's county commissioner, recalls, legislative seats, anything at all, we're going to have somebody. And by the way, for We the People Party, we need a Secretary of State candidate. And we're going to be going after non affiliated voters. We're going to be going after Democrats and Republicans because that Secretary of State, our representative, is going to do the job in a big, awesome way. And I know we have better candidates than Mark Thielman. I know we do. I'm not saying he's a bad one, just saying that I'm certain there's better. I know a lot of people have been getting behind him after he lost his governor's deal, but and he was far down in the list. Closest one was Bob Tiernan, and I got to admit, of all those candidates, he was the one that I would have voted for. Yeah, I think I can trust him. It's one of the first qualifications of that guy. Not to mention the fact when he was in the legislature, he did a great job. He was very effective. Kim Thatcher, no. Whole lot of them are just ineffective. Yeah, it looks like I said, I think DeReamer might pull it off there in District 5. And I pray to God that's what happens. That'll be a good thing. Finally, we need more Republican representatives. By the way, that will help the House and our Congress, most definitely. Oh, do we gotta? So Lucy's Angela Green. Remember Lions? What do we do to trolls in the Lions Den? That's right. We treat them like the chew toys that they are. Have at it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I know Angela. No, she's not chew toy. No, she's cool. Gosh, I have to go back and remember some of the names. Think about all the trolls that used to show up here, right? Okay. Where are these people? Where have they gone? Were they right in all the stuff they were saying? No. That's why they're still not here. They don't even want to get in there. They don't want that type of publicity anymore. They're realizing that, oh no, people now know who I am. And don't worry, we're never ever going to forget because we have a list of those names. Yes, we do. Let's see, Rachel Lindell TV, 14 states have extreme electronic fraud. Watching live spikes. Wow. These guys are bold. See, they got away with it in 2020, right? They think they can get away with it now. They really do. And until all of us pretty much go, okay, where's my pitchfork? Where's my torch? Yep, let's go. It's time for us to take care of business. That's how it's going to be. Watching the right side with Doug Billings, broadcast on TV and listening to Captain America at the same time. All right. This might sound weird, but I like it. I'd actually be really good at politics, but I don't want the rat race. I'd be like the merchant. For me, I definitely am not just doing this for myself, and it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, but I know it's the right thing to do. And until somebody else is going to do it, then I'm going to do it. And my biggest goal and ambition is to find a whole bunch more people to do it with me. We need to win as a team. See, it was Pierce, then Mark, then I came upon Oh, Bud Pierce. Yeah, Bud Pierce, just let you know, and if you get a chance to go find some of the debates we had, I think the first one was the Eagles previous year, not this year. And I was there on stage with a bunch of others, Pulliam, Gomez, Bud Pierce, Brandon Merritt, Mark Thielman, and there's a couple other people. And I will say that some of the younger, newer people, their hearts are in the right place, and I have an optimistic view for their future, and I'm going to help them too. Um, but the fact is, in that day, on that day, I won that forum without a doubt. And so Bud Pierce kept having to excuse himself. He's a cancer doctor, right? And if you know anything about cancer doctors, is they are the highest paid, most grossing doctors there are because they get like half of what is paid charged for chemotherapy and what have you. And the fact is that what is the survival rate for those people with cancer? Not very high. So you can be a cancer doctor, prescribe chemotherapy for everybody, still get paid, and still kill off most of your patients. And then there's more coming in the door behind them. Yeah. I just don't trust that. I also had a little issue. His wife had been recently been hit and run and killed, and yet he still ran. And I think that his money could have been better placed and put to better use than what he did. And his signs are still out there in a few spots. Uh, and I'm Ethel. Oh, Lucy and Ethel. Gotcha. That's funny. Let's see. Host Coast of Fraud. Yeah. Let's see. And one giant duck-sized horse. Oh gosh, I still I'll never forget that. That was pretty funny. So anyway, let's go see what we got going on. All right, so we got 40% of the vote in. Jo Ray Perkins is still trailing, slight movement forward. She's at just under 42%. Ron Wyden remains at 55.59%. So see how that goes. U.S. Congressional District 1, Susan Bonamici, still big time in the lead, 66%. Congressional District 2, Cliff Bentz, still holding a little bit above. He's now at 66.48%. In 3rd District, Congressional District, we have Earl Blumenauer still at 69% plus, and Joanna Harbor still at 26.9. 4th Congressional District, Scarlatos at 42%. And Val Hoyle at 52%. So this is not looking good for Alex Scarlatos. I guess my big question is, let's see. I'm curious how many millions of dollars he's spent on this race already and ineffectively. That's one of the things I think his campaign group, they like spending money. They like having payroll for the people that work within their campaign. And well, that's not gotten him very far. Not to mention the fact he's not quite the hero everybody wants to think that he is, nor is he the academic. So there's a question I was asked. It's like, what qualifies you to be governor? Well, believe it or not, it's the same thing that qualifies Alex Scarlatos to run for Congress. The fact that he's an American citizen and the fact that he's in the state of Oregon. It's the only real 2 requirements. Now, most of us would say, well, you need to have some education. You need to have some life experience and various jobs and a good way to relate to the people. Well, Scarlatos falls way short on many of those counts. So it takes people in a different direction. The other issue for Scarlatos had to do with some of his rather cavalier attitude towards women. Apparently, he's messed with a whole lot of them. And he's also into very young people. This is just the facts that have been reported, and it's disappointing to see. My attitude would be, hey, go find you the one woman and stick it out with them. And if it's a man you're looking for, well, hey, it's America. Go do what you want. Just don't drag anybody else into your mess. Then we have the Congressional District 5. And right now, Jamie McLeod Skinner has fallen further behind. Thank God. Lori Chavez DeReamer, good job. And by the way, I know a lot of people that voted for you, Lori. So just do me a favor. Do the right thing when you get into Congress. So then we have Congressional District 6, and remarkably, we're still behind here in this one, 46% to 51%. We're about 7,000 votes, a little less than 7,000 votes behind, but we are only at 40% of the vote, 1.2 million votes in out of just shy of 3 million active registered voters. So let's go into touch base back here with state race. So Tina Kotek at 45.9% and Christine Drazan at 44.34%. We're talking about vote difference of about 18,000 votes. 18,000 votes. And the kicker is, Betsy Johnson, you have 106,000 votes. And I wonder how many of them are Republicans. Yeah. And we can thank Bridget Barton for that, and Betsy Johnson. We can thank Newt Bueller. Guys, you need to remember these names. And when you have people, there's, oh, I think I should go for it. Wait a minute, time out. Who was backing them up? Who was supporting them? Who hamstrung the campaign? Who hamstrung the election? Who? Hold them accountable long term. Don't let them go, well, we need to focus on the future. Whenever you hear somebody say that, literally, you should be able to tweak their nose. Doink. Because that's all about not having any real accountability. To me, you have a big window screen on that car and you got a little rearview mirror. That does not mean you do not watch what's behind you, that you don't deal with what's behind you. You still have to deal with that. You have to address it. You can't just forget it. You can't just let it go. That's generally what Democrats say anyway, right? They want to be forgiven. They want this COVID amnesty to not be held accountable for the crimes against humanity they've committed. Isn't that remarkable? I mean, who else would want to do a bunch of bad, evil stuff and get away with it, right? Well, I think if anybody's doing something bad, the whole goal and ambition is to get away with it. But here we are, right? Okay, so moving right along, Betsy Johnson still holding at about 9%. So she's actually lost a little ground. That's somewhat reassuring. And hopefully that will be enough to put Christine Drazan over the top. And hopefully it'll be enough to overcome any cheating done here in the state of Oregon through the current ballot tallying systems. Yeah, because we're pretty much expecting that. And if they're watching these spikes live, that's going to be frightening. Let me tell you what. So then, moving on back to, let's see, our federal races here. Jo Rae Perkins is still at 41.77%. Wyden's at 55.59%. I'm just amazed. We're almost at 500,000, and I'm going to assume that that's primarily Republican voters for Jo Rae Perkins. That's only another 250,000 more votes she can get, and that would put her at 750,000. And the chances are that Ron Wyden would pull in, well, he's already at 655,000. He doesn't need 100,000 votes to beat Jo Rae Perkins. And this is something we have talked about, guys. If Republicans are not actively going after non-affiliated voters, you have already failed. You have already lost. And this is a perfect example of that. Okay? Jo Rae Perkins, I really wouldn't call her a rhino, but I would not call her the smartest person in the room either. She doesn't really offer anything on the issues. She runs for office all the time, and it's just her name recognition people see. Well, she ran before. So she's a perennial candidate. She's run way more than me. And yet people always want to try to glom you together. No. So in the future, like I said, we'll see how this goes. We'll put together a solid plan. We have some great people that are going to be working in that core group, and it's going to get exciting. So, Basket of the first district, yep, looks like Susan Bonamici is going to have this wrapped up. Cliff Bentz will have second district wrapped up. Earl Blumenauer is going to have third district wrapped up. Fourth district, that could be a change there, but so far Scalados is behind about 10%, roughly 24,000 votes. So that is growing, it appears. And then fifth district. This could be the real upset here in Oregon. We actually have another Republican winning. So we have at least 2 out of 6. Now the thing is that 2 out of 6 was the Democrats' goal. They knew they were going to have to add one, but they wanted to make sure they somehow kept one more. Now it's still possible with the sixth district that Mike Erickson could be number 3. We could split the House district votes in half, 3 Republican, 3 Democrat. Now that would be, to me, I think that would be ideal. I think that's how it needs to go down. So say your prayers, get your people to get out there and vote. And Mike Erickson is only down by a little less than 7,000 votes. And we're only at what, 40% of the votes accounted for. So stand by. Never give up, never surrender, guys. Say your prayers. Although none of us won the lottery last night, can't say we didn't try, right? Right. Okay. So let's go into our third district legislative Senate race. Jeff Golden is still in the lead, 52 to 47%. Senate District 4, Przansky at 82%. I'm pretty sure he's got that sewn up. In 6th District, Cedric Hayden, he's got that sewn up. James Manning, Democrat, 7th District's got that. Sarah Bloom in 8th District at 59%, should hold on to that lead. 10th District, Deb Patterson is not very far ahead in the 10th District of Raquel Moore Green. So that's still a possibility. We'll see how that goes. Then we have Senate District 11 with Kim Thatcher still in the lead, but it would appear that Richard Walsh may be gaining a little bit. And remember, guys, the closer they get, the easier it is for them to cheat. Remember the whole woo, bloop, doop. Yep, that's what we're looking for. Then you have 13th District. Mr. Woods looks like he's still going to pull that off. Senate District 15, another Democrat, Salmon. Senate District 16, Suzanne Weber, 55%. Looks like she might hang on to that. Senate District 17, Elizabeth Hayward, very decisive here at over 76%. Senate District 18, it's a 2-year unexpired term. Looks like it may be going to Campos because Kimberly Rice and Rich Vial, because they're both there, they don't have a chance. Ben Edel still at 33% against Rob Wagner at 66%. Hey, I think that's his first shot at really running for major office. I think he might have some potential. We'll learn more about him as we go, and I'll share it as I get the facts. Senate District 20. This is neck and neck. Mark Meek, Democrat. Bill Kinnemer, Republican. 50.44% against 49.46%. We are talking about still, let's see, 256 votes difference. Wow. 256 vote difference. Very close. Senate District 424, Stan Catherman versus the Democrat Jama. Jama's up at 58%. We'll probably pull that one off. State Senate 26th District, Daniel Bonham at 55%. I expect he will hold on to that. Now for state representatives. David Brock Smith, 67%. He should win that. You know, I'm kind of curious. Who do you think he might be running against in 2 years? Yeah, I think I know. And, you know, if Brett Cecil, the Democrat, but chances are Democrat Brett Cecil supports the Oregon China Council like David Brock Smith does. You will notice that none of our candidates, not one of them, for the legislature, for the House or Senate, or for governor, or for anything for that matter, not one of them have brought up the China anything in debate or against their opponents. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they're all guilty. Every last one of them. And David Brock Smith, I have some lovely photographs of him with the Oregon China Council, rubbing elbows, enjoying that VIP treatment in China. Oh, yeah. In for a penny, in for a pound there, Dave. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you to retirement. There is my prediction. And when I do it, I'm going to do it with 80+% of the vote. I'm going to make sure every single voter knows exactly everything they need to know about you and your failure as our representative. And fundamentally committing treason for what you support, what you allow. So stand by, buckwheat. Okay, then we have Virgil Osborne. This is awesome. State Representative, 2nd District. Virgil at 69, almost 70% of the vote. Kevin Bell, Democrat, at 27%. Edward Renfro still at 2.32%. 451 votes. Wow, ouch. That was not a very good play on his part. State Representative, 3rd District. Lily Morgan, Republican. Looks like that she's going to have that one. Christine Goodwin, unopposed, Republican. I hope she's an actual Republican, but she also got the Democrat endorsement, which is interesting. So look for a major rhino right there. That's at 97% so far. 5th District, we have the Democrat at 64% and Miss Sandra Abercrombie at 35%. And Miss Sandra, somebody I fully support, and I know she'd do a great job for Oregon given the opportunity. So I'm really impressed she stepped into the arena. And she's only down 9,000 votes. It's not a lot. Then we have 6th District, Kim Wallen, Republican, at 60%. Looks like she's going to wrap that up. 7th District, Alan Stout versus John Lively, the Democrat. Democrats up 51% to 48%. But we're only talking, wow, about 600 votes separate them. 600. That's not a lot. Then we have the 8th District, Michael Moore at 14, almost 15%, against Paul Holvey, Democrat, 85%. That's pretty much a lost cause. Representative for 9th District, Jerry Rust, Democrat at 42, but Boomer Wright at 50, almost 58%. Looks like Boomer's going to have that one. Thank God for that. State Representative, 10th District, Republican Celeste McEntee is down at 42% versus David Gomberg at 57%. He is the Democrat. He's in the lead. That may be a tough one to overcome at this point. State Representative, 11th District, Mary Cook, Democrat at 25%. Republican Jamie Kate at a big 75%. 12th District, State Representative Charlie Conrad, Republican, 57%. Woohoo! Another Republican. And then we have 13th District. Republican is a bit behind, 34% versus Nancy Nathanson at 65%. You know, what I'm starting to see, as soon as somebody hits that 60+%, that pretty much seals the deal. And we're seeing that in 14th District, Julie Fahey at 60%, Stan Stubblefield at 40%. 15th District, Shelley Beauchart Davis. Yeah. You know, there's got to be some term limits, really. She's at 60%. Benjamin Watts, 39%. We have 16th District, Ray Rayfield, Democrat at 75. That one's pretty much a done deal. State Representative, 17th District, Ed Deal, Republican, no opposition. He's getting also the Democrat endorsement. I don't know. This makes me a little nervous when I see a Republican with a Democrat endorsement. What's the deal? How much of a rhino is he, right? I don't know, but we might need to go find out. And he shows him at 96%, so he's basically got it done. 18th District, Jesse Smith, Democrat at 30, Rick Lewis at 69, hot diggity dog. Then we have the 19th District, TJ Sullivan, Republican at 44%, Tom Anderson, Democrat at 55. We're only talking, you know, not even 20,000 votes in that district so far. And, well, it's about 2,000 vote distance between the two. State Representative for 20th District, Dan Farrington, Republican, 43%. And Paul Evans, Democrat, 54.76%. Representative 21st District, Michael Morrow is Libertarian, 2.49%. Kevin Mannix, there we go. Mr. Mannix is at 51.48%. One of our best constitutional type attorneys here in the state by far. And then also there's Ramiro Navarro Jr., Democrat. He's at 45, almost 46%. So that's a really tight race. We're only talking about 960 some odd votes difference. That is pretty tight. I don't know how many more votes they can take in that district. 22nd District, Tracy Kramer, Republican at 53%. Hot dog. Then we have Anthony Medina, Democrat at 46, just shy of 47%. State Representative 23rd District, Anna Scharf, Republican, 66%. I'm pretty sure we can call that one. State Representative 24th District, Lucetta Elmer, Republican, 68%. I think we can call that one too. Then we have the 25th District, Bob Niemeyer, Republican, 35% versus Ben Bowman, Democrat at 64%. Further, 26th District, Jason Fields, Republican at 46, Courtney Neron at 53, almost 54. 27th District, Sandra Nelson, Republican, 29. Ken Helm, Democrat, 70%. 28th District, Dacia Graber, Democrat, 80% versus Patrick Castles. Don't surprise. This is not a surprise to me. At not even 19%. Guys, we have got to get Republicans. If the Republican Party is going to be anything, you guys have to find better candidates. You have to go out, find them, recruit them, commit to them, help them, whatever else. Okay? Seriously. This is just sad. 29th District, Susan McClain, Democrat at 53%. Gina Munster Moore at 46.63%. Right now, less than 1,000 votes separate them. You just never know, people. 30th District, Nathan Sosa, Democrat, 60%. John Everton, Republican, 39%. That's pretty much a done deal. Yes, God did not put us in this fight because it was going to be easy. That's right. Because we had to fight it. Now, we're still showing Measure 111. We're in the lead, 50.4% to 49.6%. Yeah. We're still only at 40% reporting again, so we're not seeing any major change there. Looks like everything else. Whoa. Measure 112. Boy, it was getting kind of tightening up, but now it's branching apart again with about almost 100, a little over 100,000 votes difference now. And we're back to in the red for Measure 111, 48.86% versus 51%. This is really weird. We're seeing this shift. We had 3 that we were winning, and now we're back to 3 that we are losing. This is going to get interesting. Okay. So what else we got over here? Okay. Is Kotek going to win? I'm telling you guys, everybody in the state of Oregon is going to hate and despise Betsy Johnson and all her cohorts. That's right. And we talk about these diversionary candidacies. We talk about this controlled opposition. This is not just talking points. This is the reality that we're faced with and what we have to deal with and be aware of and not allow these things to encroach on what needs to be done and what is right. And this is what's been allowed to happen. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. Yeah, I'll put this one up for you guys. This is from Catherine. Thank you for going over the current voting data of this poll. This is indeed a significant experience, and the road forward is going to make many of us to come together for strategy, for mobilizing response to this voting fraud, and also the lack of, let's see, what does the rest of it say? Come on, where is it? Lack of care Oregon voters in general seem to have. Lots of education and encouragement needed around the foundational principles of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution born out of it. We, the people, must understand not only the rights and power we have to govern, but to feel the inspired willingness to step in. This is our work as we all move forward. And again, united we stand, divided we fall. And it shouldn't take a catastrophe for us to unite. We need to be united always. And we may not agree on everything, but we'll agree on most things and get things done. I'm still stunned when I meet somebody who says, "Well, I liked everything you had to say, everything in this, but there's one thing in your contract with Oregon." One thing, huh? And what was the one thing? Well, I don't remember. Yeah, okay. In other words, nothing. You just don't want to vote for me because you have a hair up your backside. Okay. Yeah, I got you. We have to get people to stop speaking like that. It makes them look not too bright, but it also exposes them. Yeah, Bridget Barton, don't trust her running for anything, conservative or Republican. Okay, just for future reference. Following counties have not reported to the governor of HCM, Hill County and Union County. Wow, they have just that many incompetent people there. What's the deal? Where do I stand in all this? Well, Jerry, the simple fact is that in this race for governor, with the write-in deal. 1 second. Yeah, write-in is still only going to count for not even a percent at this point. It's showing 1,219 total votes for write-ins, but they're not going to break anything down, and that's just the reality. When it comes to like Libertarian Party, there's Leon Noble at 0.32%, Donna Smith, Constitution Party at 0.39%. These are basically people that are straight Libertarian, straight Constitution Party. They're going to vote for whoever that person is, period. Because I can assure you, if people actually got to meet Leon Noble, which I have met him, and make sure you have something good to smell when you're near there. But to listen to Donna Smith, well, nobody'd vote for her, period. And traditionally, believe it or not, Constitution Party, usually when they have a good candidate, they get a big turnout. They've managed to pull in, I think, at one point over 30+% of the vote. She's not even close to percent at this point, nor will she get there. Okay. But what it shows is that people that are in the Constitution Party largely are trying to vote for her. But that's going to change because most of those people will be leaving the Constitution Party because they're going to find out that it is not the Constitution Party that they think it is. That's going to be fully exposed. So Jack Brown and Donna Smith and Roger Shipman, they'll all be all by themselves in their party of 5 or 6 or so. So that's where that's at. So we still haven't seen any new updates. I'm still at 40% here reporting. No updates yet. So we're still waiting. Somebody's there. I wonder why they're holding this stuff back. Yeah, I'm going to bet you it's they're trying to figure out what they can adjust. Carol Lake speaking right now. She's gaining, and she's declaring victory in a couple hours. Outstanding. Very happy to see that. Yeah, measure 114. It's unconstitutional. Plain, pure, and simple. It's unconstitutional. They can't. They just can't. And we'll all be, like I said, pitchforks and torches, guys. Get them ready. Polish them up. Make sure they're good and pointy. Make sure the torch is all fueled up because you're going to need it. I'm also watching at the same time Fox's coverage, see if there's anything I can catch in the course of this. Mastriano is going to lose, it would appear. Unfortunately, I really thought he had a shot. Yeah, Josh Shapiro's the Democrat. He's at 55%. Mastriano at 44%. But they have 82% reporting so far. So I think Shapiro's going to win this. Well, hey, you win some, you lose some. But the fact is, You can't win or lose if you're not in the arena. It's kind of like the lottery. You can't win if you don't play, right? So, um, I know a whole lot of people that could have used that $2 billion plus win in that lottery last night. Um, Man, that is a lot of money, and I think the winner ends up getting about half of that in a cash deal, which seems kind of weird, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got going on? Let's refresh that. Okay, Oregon Secretary of State Shemaya Fagan, what are you doing? Everything's just come to this huge screeching halt. No updates. 40% of the votes tallied, and you're not updating. Yeah. Yeah, I think I know why too. Yeah. So we're talking about 18,000 votes, less than 18,000 votes difference between Tina Kotek and Christine Drazen. That stands. And if I remember right, Betsy Johnson had what 118,000 votes, and that gave her almost. I think she was over almost 10%. Well, now it's showing she has 107,000 votes. So where did 10, 11,000 votes disappear to? Because now she's down to 8.95%. Well, that's interesting. 11,000 votes. Yeah. Like I said, Christine Drazen and your team, you better be taking snapshots, screenshots of everything they post as you go, every minute or so, just to make sure you don't miss anything. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So, who else do we have? Anybody have any questions? There's some races they're calling for Congress on the East Coast anyway. And there are some here in the state that we already have. There's a couple that I kind of semi called already based on the amount of votes that came in and everything. The bog of eternal stench. Yeah. Don't stick your toe in that one. Yeah. Well, that's kind of where it's at right now, like 107,000 and 8.95%. But like I said, it's not been updated in a while. So that's what we're waiting for. So does anybody want to call in or ask a question or anything like that, guys? One of the things about running for office is you just have to get brave. You just got to put it on the line. But there's a whole lot you can do to prepare for it. And for me, with what I do with my contract with Oregon, I really make it easy for a lot of people, right? And I'm being told that it's been updated. Not very much. No, not very much. I got 40.2% now. It was 40.1% calculated. Still just under 18,000 difference for Kotek and everybody else. Let's go to the federal race here. Yeah, this isn't looking good. Looks like Ron Wyden's going to pull this again. Something else we'll be analyzing is what kind of money Ron Wyden spent versus Jo Rae Perkins. But also we'll get to dive into a little bit more to see how that money was spent. Because if I've learned anything is there's all kinds of people that show up and say, hey, I can do this for you and it only costs you X amount of dollars. And then, well, they don't really do anything for you. And it still costs you X amount of dollars, but there's better ways of spending your money. And sometimes you have to go with a little bit more unorthodox approach, be a little unique. And that's one of the things we're actually really good at. So let's see. Fetterman and Oz, they're showing Fetterman at 49%, Oz at 48%. So you're telling me 2.383 million people are that stupid? Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Gosh. 40,000 votes separate them. Son of a gun. That's 82% reporting. So Oz still has a chance, especially with late reporting for Republicans usually vote late. Where we got balance of power. So right now, Democrats, Republicans, 47 to 47. Wow, imagine that. Okay. Wow. The other change. Bonamici is going to win for Congressional District 1. Cliff Bentz for Congressional District 2. Blumenauer for Congressional District 3. Congressional District 4. Looks like it's going to go to Val Hoyle, I think. Yep. She's at 52%. Scholz is 42%. He's falling behind. Then we have Congressional District 5, and that looks like it's going to go to DeReamer. This is outstanding. Really, that gap is growing in her favor. She's at 52.65%. McLeod Skinner's at 47.08%. So that is very reassuring. So we're looking at least one. Okay, then we have District 6. Mike Erickson, still kind of tight in there. Still less than 7,000 votes. Still waiting for an update. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. Like I said, if we can pull three seats in the House, that is the goal. Because as we stand right now, I think we have 2 for sure. The 5th and 2nd district, and we have a shot at District 6. So say your prayers, people, and let's bring in some more votes. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Barry. Let me tell you what. There's an awful lot of let's see. Permit to acquire firearms. Please maintain permit firearm data. There's no money for it. There's no way to finance and fund it, which is part of the deal because they think they can just prevent you from getting a gun by doing that. Evil will always be pushing back, and it looks like they've always win, but nevertheless, now like I said, well, the thing is, they usually win because we're not even in the game. It's like we're like sitting at home, watching TV, and someone says, "Hey, don't you have a game?" Do we? Yeah, the Devils kicking your butt over on the field. They're just running up the points. You're not even on the field. You don't even know you have a game. Get over there. That's pretty much what we've been dealing with here in Oregon. So many people have no clue. The word on Measure 114. Quick update. 114 right now. The no's do not have it. We're at 48.92% for no, 51.08% for yes. And you know that we're going to make this close no matter what. It has 1.18 million votes in. The ballot measure 113 looks like we're going to lose that one big time. 68% to 31%. Measure 112, thought we had a shot at that for people that actually understood what they were voting on. That whole slavery word. People are, I don't want anything to do with slavery. I'm going to vote against slavery every time. Yeah, because they're not smart enough to actually read what they're talking about. As for 111, we're still in the lead. There's still more no, 50.43%. But I'm telling you now, people, it's a 10,000 vote difference. And they can cheat a couple percent. We know they can. And I'm expecting them to try it. Because they definitely want to put OHA in charge of all our health care and charge you more on your income tax. And the thing is, Christine Drazan, what would you do if you actually won? Would you shut that down? Yeah, you wouldn't do that because you're supporting all the new taxes, remember? Yeah. Yep. I know where you're at. So let's go check in on that, see if we have any updates. Let's see. So Christine Drazen still hanging, still the same, 54.39%. Tina Kotek at 45.84%. Yeah, these haven't moved. No, these still haven't moved. So when will we see an actual update, huh? I have no idea. Well, sports fans, um, this is how it goes. So that's the way it is. That's the way it was. And we were here to witness it. Something, LD, you're right. Something we're learning is that Christians very much are asleep at the wheel. And they're pretty much in the mode of Jesus take the wheel. And what I'm here to tell you is that Jesus is not going to take that wheel, especially when you're not even making an attempt to take it yourself. We all have to stand up. We all have to take action. And as a Christian, I'm taking action. I'm doing every little thing that I possibly can. And we all need to make that effort. I'm always surprised when I talk to people and they're just flippant attitude about voting and being paid attention. And I get it. It's kind of like a stock market. Now, when I was a broker, man, every day I come into my office, boom, I had exactly what I needed to look at, what stocks, what mutual fund groups, whatever I was doing, building, and paying attention to certain things. And I knew exactly what to watch. Now, all my clients, they don't have enough time in the day to do what I do. They don't. And I get that. Okay. But that doesn't mean they totally don't keep an eye on what's going on. They do pay attention. If they're into long-term investments, like, listen, it's a long-term investment. Relax, leave it alone. Don't even look at it for 6 months to a year. Get your twice a year update and that's it, and move on. But if you're watching stocks, a little different animal, because sometimes people get a little nervous about where they're at in their position, how much they profited. They're afraid of losing that gain. But as I have to warn them, say, well, you can take your gains, but you're going to incur your taxes. And I believe this is going to keep going north. It's not done yet. We haven't seen a major drop or dead cat bounce before we buy it back up again. There's certain things you look for and you watch for. And when you have an actual stockbroker that watches things for you, that's so you don't have to worry. The problem is with politics and politicians, we pay attention for a short period of time and then we skip over the rest and then we don't remember what happened in the past. It has to be some huge, huge thing for us to remember, recall it, and then react and respond to it correctly in the next go round. But so many people are working. They're trying to survive. The last thing they can pay attention to is me or anybody else that's running for office. So one of the things I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be spending a lot of time going door to door all over this House and Senate district. Yeah. I'll be doing that starting in January. Because here's the thing, guys. My contract with Oregon stands. It stands exactly where it's supposed to be. And it goes for anybody in the legislature, anybody in the governor's seat. If they follow that contract, they do that, they will represent the people. It's really pretty simple. And what's going to happen, I know it's going to happen, is, wow, it's still split, balance of power in Congress, 47-47. 140 Democrats to 176 Republicans in the House, 47-47 in the Senate. 140 in the House for Democrats, 176 for Republicans. Wow, that is great news. Looking good, guys. We're going to take the House, and we'll probably take the Senate by a seat or two. And this is Patty Murray. She has stepped up and has claimed her victory. 1 second. She ended up winning with 57%. But I don't. Yeah. So, yeah, there we go. I'll tell you what. One day, guys, we'll be on that victory stage, and it'll be a party and a half. I'll tell you that much. Um, so who else we got going on here? Childcare. You know, childcare is important. I understand that, but right now, most people can't even afford to feed their children. Groceries and what have you. That's a bigger deal right now. Just keeping your kids fed. So, oh, okay, yeah, substance abuse. Yeah, here in Oregon, they're trying to make it bigger and worse than it is. And remember, the amount of murders have doubled since Measure 110 was passed, and that's when they legalized heroin, cocaine, meth. Yeah, so that's in Washington State, and I have to wonder if she's the Democrat, though. Of course, Abbott won against O'Rourke. Um, Fetterman and Oz still isn't decided yet. Um, if Fetterman wins, man, oh, I just well, they put Biden in office, right? What would Fetterman? He's probably along the same realm, but it's going to probably get worse. And when he drops dead from another stroke, um, then we'll see where we're at, right? So, good lord. Um, let's see. Brian Kemp beat Stacey Abrams. Amen. Hallelujah. That's a good sign. But there's a picture. Someone said this is where Abrams lost. It was a picture of her with a whole bunch of kids around her. They're all wearing masks, and she's not. Man, that summed up a lot. Just that one picture, that one photo op that she's all smiles, and she really had nothing to smile about. So, um, yeah, if Fetterman wins, then the guy can't. First thing he gets up on stage, good night. That was. I'm sorry, that was funny. Hello, everyone. Good night. Um, North Carolina, Arizona governor. Uh, yeah, Patty Murray is a Democrat. She won with 57% over Tiffany Smiley at 43%. Most unfortunate for Washington State. Why would you keep voting for stuff that screws you all over? Really? Wow. So Senate's still 47-47, and the House is still 140 to 176. And here in Oregon, we might be able to add another, well, at least one Republican to our count, possibly two. However, I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Yeah. Let's go back and touch base over here. Still no changes, no updates on Secretary of State's site, which is really bugging me. Yeah, Jo Ray is a little update, but it looks like she's losing ground. Bonamichi's still winning for that district, for Congressional District 1. Cliff Benz still for 2, of course. Blumenauer for 3. Scarlato's still slipping. Looks like he's going to probably lose this one. And there you go. Dreamer still in the lead. Happy to see that. District 6. Man, it is still tight, guys. We're talking about 3,000. No, let's see. Yeah, a little over about 3,300. So that's close. So with Bentz and DeReamer and Erickson, possibly. So we could pull 3 representatives. And the thing is, if Scarlatos was a real candidate that actually knew something about something and had some life experience and real work experience that he could relate to all the people that he wants to get to vote for him, and he wasn't such a womanizer, he might have actually stood a chance. Yeah. So what does that mean for U.S. Representative 4th District? We need a good candidate to run. Okay, guys. Believe me, I'm going to be going to work on all these fronts. I know good people that need to run for these offices, but it's a matter of convincing them to do it. You know, I have suffered the slings and arrows of absolute bovine excrement with no substance, no verification, no proof, no evidence, no nothing. And that's me with nothing. Imagine somebody that has something that's going to be significant from their past, something that can be capitalized on. This is going to be bad. So Oregon still has things are looking okay for Oregon, I think. And once we have a real map of our legislature and what it's looking like, but seeing how slow these votes are being tabulated, it looks like we got another update, and it's not changing anything. Nope, still no real changes in our congressional districts or our U.S. Senate race. And let's go back over here real quick and check the state, check the governor's race. And we're talking about a 1% difference, 1.01%. But the good news is Christine Drazan is catching up. Okay, so rather than 18,000 she was behind, she's now about 11,500 behind. So she is gaining. Okay, so here's my prediction. If they're doing active cheating right now, what they're going to do is they're going to keep Tina as close as they can or a hair ahead of Drazan until the final moments that they know that they got it a lock. And that's probably what we're going to see. So, Betsy Johnson, I hope you're feeling like a gigantic horse's patoot, because that's exactly what you are in this race so far. Yep. Think about all the Republicans that voted for Betsy Johnson, guys. I warned you. I warned you. Yes, I warned you. Because let's just say half the votes that Betsy Johnson got are Republicans, right? Half of them. So that's about 55,000 be half. So with that 55,000, that brings Drazan up to a little over 600,000, which there's only another 150,000 Republican votes left out there. And not all of them are going to vote, which means the chances are that Tina Kotek can pull this off. However, what I am noticing is that there's like 560,000 Democrats that have voted. And I predicted we were going to have about a 50 to 55% voter turnout. Well, that puts them at that. Okay. Not quite a 55% voter turnout for the Democrats. So they may be topped out. And for the Republicans, though, we've had a way bigger turnout than the Democrats. Okay. Because we're almost there. We're at 547,000. They're at 559,000. So we've actually had a bigger turnout because we have less voter block than the Democrats, which is important. But we still have to keep going. Like I said, Drazan needs every Republican to vote to win this. She really does. And this is way, way too close. But the fact is, it doesn't matter whether Tina or Christine Drazan wins. It doesn't matter. Tina's going to be the same tyrant that Kate Brown was, and Drazen's going to be a cream puff rhino. She's going to carry on a whole bunch of stuff they've already planned. They're already doing. She's going to support the Oregon China Council. She's going to support that stuff. You mark my words. So no matter what happens, we're going to lose. And that is most unfortunate. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Donis is not going to see any improvement over that. And by the way, that is a terrible showing for a Constitution Party candidate. They always do 10+%. The only votes she got were just people in the Constitution Party that had no clue of what's been going on. But don't worry, they're going to get plenty of information. Yeah, they're going to get that. Let's see, what do we got here? That's right, Barry. I warned him. Johnson wasn't splitting the Democrat vote; she's splitting the Republican vote. Yep, that's right. We called it. Yeah, Shanna. What I've gone through is the same thing that Trump has gone through. No substance to any allegations. And that's another thing. See, I get to walk in the sunlight. I get to walk in the light, None of them do. Not Angela Freedom Fighter. Her real name is Angela Height or Angela Miyake. That's her maiden name. Angie Vandenboss, Roger Shipman, Alan Brown, Robert Ekstrom, Laura Ma Barker. She's the leader of the Ma Barker gang, And by the way, she's now in the Republican ranks. And I believe Angela Height is too. They've all abandoned the Constitution Party. They came in, jacked a bunch of stuff up, and then departed. Yeah. So those old men, those old desperate men that liked the attention they were getting from these ladies. Yeah. Hope you guys feel like gigantic donkey patoots, right? Yeah, maybe you ought to join the Democrat Party yourself. Yep. So, and I'm going to make sure every Constitution Party member gets a copy of Alan Brown's little essay of why I can tell you what to do. Yeah, he wrote that. Why I can tell you what to do. Man, it's like a communist manifesto trying to justify why everybody should listen to him. He tries to use certain things in his favor from the Constitution, but it's all meant to guide you into tyranny, letting him make all those decisions because he knows better than everybody. Yes, he's a failed politician. He's never been elected to anything. Okay, Michigan Democrat wins. I mean, I'm sorry, Michigan. Oh, I'll take that. Let's see. No, it's a little small. I couldn't quite read the fine print. Kemp, the Republican wins Georgia governor. Okay, they're still not calling it for us. DeSantis wins, of course, Florida. And Abbott won Texas for governor. Hochul beat Zeldin, son of a gun, New York. Fetterman, still nothing's decided yet. It looks like, oh, come on, going a little too fast. So Nevada, then we got North Carolina, Republican Budo wins. New Hampshire, Senate, Democrat wins. Man, a whole lot is going on. Let me tell you what, guys. All right. Okay. Okay. All righty. What else do we got going on over here? Okay, so Hmm. Okay. Well, let's see. I'm sorry. One second there, Shanna. Shanna. Um, right in. It's still only showing the same numbers. It's been showing for a long time. 41% of the vote is in. It's about 1,228 votes right in, which is about a tenth of a percent. And hmm, because one thing I know we run into is where people are like, well, I want to make sure my vote counts. Well, your vote always counts, but the fact is, uh, the votes that really count in this race, the splitting votes, is going to be the Betsy Johnson votes. That's 110,000 votes, and I'm going to bet you a vast majority of them were Republican in nature. So, and that was brought on by Bridget Barton, Newt Bueller, et cetera, et cetera. So, if Drazen loses, we all know why. Yeah. Yep. Things are going good for this country, I think, overall. Biggest thing, though, is we still need Republicans in Congress that will actually be conservative, Constitution minded people. I mean, come on, like, how hard is that, right? Let's see, any changes over here? No, 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 no. No, we're still holding steady. Well, guys, it is 10 o'clock, and that's been 2 hours I've been on here. Boy, it goes by fast, doesn't it? So, I know we saw about 15 people in here. I know you guys all watch and keep an eye out. If I'm going to put the Oregon Secretary of State's site on here, um, and if you go on here, you can hit federal, state senator, states, and statewide measures, and kind of touch base and see what it says there yourself. And I just put that in the chat, so please grab that website. There it is, resultsoregonvotes.gov. And this is where they're supposed to put that stuff as soon as they get it, but they're taking their sweet time as of late. So what's going on? Yeah. So when we all wake up in the morning and we find out all these Democrats won everywhere across the board, you can be like, yeah, yeah, that's what we're going to deal with. Yeah. Amen. Cats are lining up. It's their dinner time. Pet, pet grade ground turkey. Woohoo! That's funny. Cats are lining up. Uh, if that's Whitmer, oh man. Hmm. It tells you just how many voters are out there that just number one don't participate. They're not helping, and they are in effect actually hurting their own states. And it's really it's rough to watch it. And when you're talking to people, it's even harder. They always fall back to the position of well, I just don't care. I just hate politics. I hate politics. Gosh, if every Republican just hated politics, every conservative just hated politics, every constitutionalist just hated politics, so didn't participate, we'd be under full blown communism or socialism right now. Do you realize that? Yeah. So in other words, those people that are choosing not to be involved are fundamentally contributing to socialism. Yeah. And there is no good socialism. Nowhere on this planet has there ever been or will there ever be good socialism. And yeah, so Man, that Oz Fetterman race, I am stunned, stunned that people favor this half brain dead Fetterman guy. I am, huh. Some people think that, oh, if my guy wins, somehow I win too. No, no, you don't. You only win when the right people are in office. And too many times people vote for the wrong people and then wonder, what happened? Yeah, right. Well, what happened is you were an idiot, and in your race to fortune and glory, to claim that, oh, I picked the winner out of this. Well, the winner that you picked stunk, and you're going to pay for it, and you have to work even harder to recover it. It was funny when somebody was questioning Dr. Oz's medical credentials. He was a heart doctor. You got to have serious credentials to even do that. Now, I don't know how much of that he still does. I mean, I think even Rand Paul, he still does some work, actual surgery stuff, which is pretty awesome, I think. Someone needs to turn up their earbuds. Anyway, you know, I can't. I'll never give up on the Oregon voter. I won't because I know that their ignorance in many cases has to do with just they just don't know. And my grandfather told me, says, ignorance actually is an excuse. If you don't know something, it's kind of hard to hold people accountable for it. Now, what they do know is they should vote. They do know that. But when they choose not to, there's the problem. When they're not inspired enough to do it, there's another problem. And whose fault is that? That's the quality of candidates. That's whose fault that is. So for me, I'm doing the best I can offer, the best quality candidate I can be, and I'm trying to find other quality candidates to offer as well. And that that is what we need to do. So again, we had a whole lot of work to do, guys, and come January, we're going to be kicking that pig in a big way. So let's see. Walter's snoring. Um, Miss Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer, you're meeting with our group again before January. Yes, I'm sure we will have to. You know what we need to do? We need to have a little get together or a party or something like that. It's the holidays anyway, right? Um, and Fetterman's going to make. Oh man, he's going to be brain dead like Biden, and his wife's going to take the helm. I'm sure. But yeah, we'll definitely plan something and get together. Um, I will probably have an event here in my place in December, and so I'll keep you posted on that. Um, like I said, and the other thing, of course, is we'll probably have a meeting. Matter of fact, watch your email because I'll probably do a Zoom call on Wednesday following the live. And that way we can kind of have a little discussion, give you a little insight to what's coming, uh, what we're going to work on, and what I need people to step up for. We're going to nail down our entire core committee for this campaign. And this campaign is not just me. This campaign is going to be a lot of people, but it's better to get that guidance and direction um, from a group that's in sync to help all those candidates. Everything applies to every candidate, every issue. It's all the same. But it's a matter of getting the message out, making sure people hear it wherever they go, and that they go, you know what, no matter what, I'm voting for that guy, even if he is. If we have to make every candidate a write-in, there's been an argument in favor of something like that because that way people have to take an active, conscious role in making their selection. But I got to admit, people get lazy. They get lazy to fill out a ballot, just filling in a little oval. You know, um, yeah, we have to overcome that. We have to get them excited. But something else we're going to be working on in a big way over the next year is getting our young people excited and inspired and motivated, to get them the mentors that they need, that they deserve, to help them understand that, yeah, they've got the short end of the stick. And it's Generation X right here. It's going to help them get that stick in their own hands. So keep that in mind. Um, of course, LD. Yep, December 14th. Yep, we have plans to go there. Yes, yes, we do. Um, thank you so much, Jennifer. You know how much I appreciate you guys, every one of you. So many awesome people have helped this campaign in various capacities, various levels. But the fact is, every little bit has helped. And the other thing is there's been a whole lot of lessons learned. And if we've done anything, it's built a strategy for the future that I'm going to absolutely 100% count on. I'm telling you now. So we're gonna change some things. So don't be waiting for 4 years from now. No, no. We start working on this come January, and many hands make light work. And when you plan in advance, when it comes game day, you're ready to win. You're positioned to win, and that's important. So that's exactly what we're going to do. All right, I'm going to check in real quick, see if there's been any updates. 41.38% reporting still. 111 is still showing more no, which is a good measure. 111, 50.59%. So that's a little bit of a gain. 112 is the whole slavery thing for people in prison, which they might as well be. I won't even call it involuntary servitude. It's more of you're footing the bill. You're working off your debt to you being in jail because we don't want our taxpayers paying for it. That's at 45% saying no, 54% saying yes. 13th Amendment, the 113 measure 113, that is really going south. 32% saying no, 67% saying yes. And then we have measure 114, more violations to our Second Amendment rights at 50.9% to 49.1%. Okay. So we got we got about a 22,000 vote difference there. And I always find this interesting. If they count 1,215,644 votes on measure 114, I'm surprised that people wouldn't be also the same people wouldn't vote in all the other three. But we'll see that the other three numbers are all less, from 1,186,000 up to 1,196,000, and then literally almost a 20,000 vote difference in measure 114. And that 20,000 difference would put us way closer. It'd be a 49 point whatever to 49 point whatever percent race on that. And again, like I said, this is going to get scary, folks. So brace yourself. Yeah, I'm really impressed that these numbers haven't gone up for the U.S. Senate race and for the House congressional district races. They're still sitting where they were. But I think we know who's winning certain ones. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Gauck's going to pull this off. But Lori Chavez Dreamer will. And Mike Erickson just might, maybe, possibly. See how that goes. Oh, but by the way, just to let you know, Larry McFarland, the Constitution Party candidate, has got a little over 4,000 votes. And if Mike Erickson had gotten those 4,000, that would put him at 93,700 and actually 93,900 votes, which would put him in the lead. So, Mayor Larry McFarland, you might very well be the one that screws the pooch for that 6th district race. Congratulations. Yeah. Remarkable. Something to not be very proud of. So, Okay, folks. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Hey, thank you guys for being here and bearing with me. Anything about Rod Taylor? Not really. um, yeah. Hey, I hope he's okay because I heard he got injured or something. So but gave him a clean bill of health. Good. Okay. I'm very happy to hear that. Okay. All right. Hey, folks. Well, hey, you guys have a great night. Be safe. Be calm. Get focused. Okay. My mom told me something a long time ago. She said, when things aren't going your way, whatever it might be, said, you know what? Sometimes you just have to get good and mad. Get good and mad, get good and focused, and figure out what your best attack is, what your best course of action is going to be. It is in those moments when you lose that you have an opportunity to figure out what you got to do better. You know, we practice and practice. Rugby practice. Rugby practice, one of the hardest practices I've ever had in my life for anything, football, anything else I've ever done. Rugby was way harder, way more exhausting. And every day I got done with there, I would leave my cleats on until I got home because I knew if I took them off, that it would not feel very good operating the pedals. That's how painful and how much you put your feet through even playing rugby, right? But you're sore, you're beat up, and we practice against each other full speed, in practice, and you have to survive to get to the game. And when you get to the game, man, you're like, this is gonna be the easy. It's gonna be way easier than practice was all week, right? And that's the attitude. That's the mentality. And then you get out there in the field and you become a hero from zero to hero, right? That's what you do, and that's what we have to do, right? We're getting ready for the real big game, guys, and practice makes perfect. So we're gonna learn a whole lot about this. We got a lot of data that I'll be studying between now and January, and to devise the next strategic plan and what I'm going to predict is going to come in 2 years and 4 years. So I'll be working those numbers hard because so far I've been right. And I'm going to tell you now, the NAV vote, we pay real close attention to what came out of that. How many of them really even bothered to vote? Because I'm telling you so far, look at the numbers, they didn't show up at all. Unfortunate, but that's going to change because we're going to help them find a home, something they can get behind, something they can support. All right. So anyway, you guys all sleep well, sleep with the angels, and never give up, never surrender. That is the other guy's problem. And in the state of Oregon, if China continues to be allowed to take over this state, 3%ers out there, stand by because we're not going to let China take this state, no matter who's in office. All right. So y'all have a good night, sleep well, and we will see.